What's up? What's up? It's Carolina Calvin. I'll be talking about the Carolina Panthers beating the New York Jets 30-20 in Carolina. As usual, I go through I go through both quarterbacks and pretty much tell you how they played and how I thought they played. Um, Obviously, I do go back and watch the games on rewind, so um, stats will only tell a certain percentage of the story. You have to watch the games to pretty much get the entire story. Geno Smith, 15 to 28, 140 yards, average of 5 yards, one touchdown, one pick, and he was sacked 4 times or a loss of 27 yards. Cam Newton, 16 of 24, 261 yards, one touchdown, was sacked twice for 12 yards. Um, from what I saw, Geno Smith mainly in the first half really didn't do much. Their passing game was non-existent. It really started to come, mainly in that end of the third quarter. Um, Mostly that fourth quarter is when they actually began to put up points. But for the most part, the first half, in terms of passing, it wasn't that great. Cam Newton made some nice throws down the field. Um, as you well know, a big chunk of it came from a screen pass to D'Angelo Williams, which went 72 yards. So 72 of Cam Newton's passing yards went to that one particular play. um, so for the most part, I say Cam Newton definitely outplayed him. Geno Smith had he had some guys open. There was a play, can't remember the guy's name. Um, he got open on the sideline, and Geno Smith threw it 4 yards out of bounds when he had the man beat, which would more than likely have been a touchdown. So he did miss some throws. There were a couple behind receivers. Now there was some can't remember his name. Santonio Holmes had a couple of drops. So I could say Geno Smith did make that one really bad throw, especially when they were in striking distance of um, really coming back into the game. He threw the pick, which was a pick six, pretty much to Captain Munderland. So you know that really affected the game. From a rushing standpoint, the New York Jets, Chris Ivory, 11 carries, 66 yards. He had one long of 35. For the most part, he was bottled up. As I said, did have that 35-yard game. The guy runs hard. You can definitely give him credit for that. Geno Smith, 6 carries, 44 yards. Of course, couple more broken plays. Couldn't find a receiver down the field, so he chose to tuck it and run it, and got some pretty decent gains. Bilal Powell, 8 carries for 37 yards, along with 15. So I'll say for the most part, the running backs actually did make some plays. And of course, the rushing touchdown that they did have was to Sheldon Richardson, the rookie defensive tackle, who they put in a goal line situation. It's kind of like a refrigerator Perry type deal, where they're gonna put him in, we're gonna run straight at him, and that's what they did. Carolina's rushing attack, D'Angelo Williams, 15 carries, 81 yards. He had a long of 18. D'Angelo Williams played really well from a rushing and receiving standpoint. Mike Tolbert, 12 carries, 18 yards. He did have the one rushing touchdown. Ted Game, it was an end around. He had one carry for 14 yards. That was, of course, was an end around. Cam Newton, 7 carries for 12 yards. They actually did a really good job against Cam Newton. When he did run, he didn't get much after he took the ball away. I did want to touch on the running game. D'Angelo Williams looked really good in the running game. Mike Tolbert, who was a guy they mainly use in short yardage situations. Not one of his better games, but when he did run, especially near the goal line, he ran really hard. And also near the end of the game, they pretty much they pretty much ran the clock out, got a couple of first downs that pretty much kept the Jets from getting the ball again. So they did do good on that front. From a receiving standpoint, the New York Jets, Jeff Cumberland, three receptions, 50 yards. He had the other touchdown, which was a receiving touchdown. David Nelson, three receptions, 44 yards. Jeremy Curley, one reception, 25 yards. Bilal Powell, 4 receptions, 19 yards. Santonio Holmes, 2 receptions, 14 yards. And Kellen Winslow, one reception, 12 yards. So for the most part, and a lot of this came in the second half. For the most part, they weren't really able to move the ball effectively in the first half. But a lot of it came in the second half, mainly into the third and fourth quarter. Geno Smith began. He started to make some nice throws, some bad ones. Of course, the interception was a really bad throw into double coverage. So, we don't expect much from this receiving core. No really great names in this receiving core. Jeff Cumberland is a decent tight end, but for the most part, he doesn't have a bunch of talent in his receiving core. And I understand that he takes a lot of blame because he does make some really bad throws. But look what he has to work with in terms of receivers. The Carolina receiving core, in terms of receiving, Greg Olsen, five receptions, 88 yards, had a pretty good game. DeAngelo Williams, 3 carries, 87 yards. Of course, he had the big 72-yard screen pass, which was actually done quite well. Cam Newton faked the screen pass to the left side of the field and threw it to the opposite side with DeAngelo Williams. It really faked out most of the Jet players, and DeAngelo Williams, nice run after the catch, great blocking by the receivers, which I think is a thing that's very underrated for the Panthers. LaFell does a good job of blocking. Of course, we know Steve Smith, despite being a smaller player, is gonna go down there and block. So I think they do a good job of blocking downfield, and they did a great job of blocking for that play. Brandon LaFell, 3 receptions, 61 yards. Had a long of 36. Steve Smith, 3 receptions, 20 yards. And Ted Ginn, 1 reception, 10 yards. One thing I can definitely take away from that, of course, I said the blocking downfield on that particular play. Greg Olsen has been very underrated this year in terms of tight ends. He doesn't, a lot of people don't really talk about him, but he's definitely an important part of the Carolina passing game. LaFell has been more consistent this year. Ted Ginn has been a big part of the offense. He's not just a special team guy where he's gonna cover punts and kickoffs. Nah, they use him a lot more now, and they use him in the end around. Cam Newton actually looks for him down the field. So I actually like that they're using Ted Ginn much more so than he ever been using his entire career. Defensively, I say the front for the Jets, Muhammad Wilkerson, David Harris, Sheldon Richardson, they play pretty good. They've been playing pretty good all year. Definitely don't get any recognition in terms of mass media coverage. The only thing you hear about when you hear about the Jets is Rex Ryan this, Santonio Holmes that, Geno Smith this. A lot of people don't ever talk about the good things about this team, and that's the defense. That's up front. That defensive line is the strength of their team, and will be their strength in the future. One of the best run defenses. I think we had quite some success, in terms of the Panthers. They had quite some success against that front, but for the most part, they did a really good job. They did a good job of containing Cam Newton. He wasn't able to get outside and break off some big runs like we know he's capable of. So I definitely say they played pretty good up front. Carolina defensively, Luke Kuechly, he had a good game, but he did miss a couple plays that he normally makes, and especially in coverage. I would definitely say the player the better player in terms of the defensive game. That particular game was Captain Munderland. 2 sacks, was good. Was good in coverage. Had the pick six, so I could definitely say he was a big time game changer for the team. That fourth quarter secondary was, Geno Smith was able to make some throws in the secondary. Also, another notable mention, Greg Hardy played pretty good. He played pretty good as well. Let me see. He had 1 sack, but he had 4 QB hits. So I definitely say he played really good. Charles Johnson wasn't really a big time factor in this game, but Greg Hardy definitely made up the slack. Combining that with Captain Munderland, I would say those were the two guys who were big standouts. Anything else I wanted to cover? Oh, okay. Also, third down efficiency. Both teams did a pretty good job on third down. The Jets were 8 of 15, and the Panthers were 5 of 11. So, like I said, both teams did a good job in terms of third down efficiency. Let me see. Penalties. Carolina 6 penalties, 59 yards, which really hurt them. There were some penalties where I believe that was after the Captain Munderland pick. He got a 15 yards, so that will count on to it, even though that really didn't affect much. The Jets had 3 penalties for 20 yards. Jets had that 1 turnover, which was actually a big turnover. In my opinion, it pretty much put them out of reach of the game. Of course, Carolina was clean in terms of turnovers, but that pretty much covers the game. Let me know if you watched the game, what you thought about the game. I will be coming back probably tomorrow. All you NFL fans, probably tomorrow. Talking about the games for Week 16. Getting real close to the end of the season. Teams are pretty much trying to lock up the playoff seeds. Also, I will be doing more videos today. I don't know, whatever topic comes to mind, I will do a video on. But hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.